Hey, good morning once again, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This is Mother's Day, and I've got my favorite person with me right here, and we're going to talk a little bit about motherhood. I asked some ladies during the week, what were their favorite things about being a mother? And also asked them, what's one or two things they didn't like about being a mother? And we'll talk about that because there was one standout thing that they all said that they didn't really enjoy. But the joys of motherhood. I got to pull my notes up here. Sorry. Number one thing was that there's different joys at different stages in the lives of your children, and with those stages come all sorts of exciting, challenging, and joyful things. The newborn stage, that first time when the baby is placed on the mother's chest and just feel skin to skin. You've carried that little one around for 9 months, and wow, that first joy. There's just nothing like it. Newborn babies, they're adorable, and everything you can say good about them, and they're just so much overwhelming joy. And it's good not to be carrying that package around like you've been doing for the last 9 months. Right away, though, there's this sense of responsibility as that sets in. That newborn baby is a person, and that person is going to grow and develop, and you've got a tremendous responsibility. And that's part of why I think we honor motherhood, is recognizing that lifelong responsibility, that lifelong commitment of being a mom and raising that little one together with your partner. And Sharon and I, we've had a lot of kids in the home. Raised 6, and then a grandson, and how many foster kids have we had?
I think we counted 47.
47 in the last 8 years, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But they move from that infant stage, baby stage, and all the noises they start to make, and all the responsibility, and nights up with them, and laughing with them and crying with them. To hear those first goo-goos, or whatever you want to call them. And then, that toddler stage. I don't think there's a person in the world, a culture, doesn't matter where you come from, a mom and a dad, to watch their firstborn or their child take that first step. It's always exciting. Of every nationality, doesn't matter the color of your skin or what language you speak, to watch your little one take that first step. It's just an incredible thing, and there's such joy with that. Wait a second, then they're mobile. Another joy of motherhood. Sure, they're walking around and they're standing up on along the couch or whatever, but then, man, once they're mobile, there's joy to be found in that. There's joy to be found in all the stages of being a mother, raising your children. Those first words. Those first words. I don't remember what mine was. Do you remember what some of our kids, what their first words were?
Some of them was mama, some of them was dada.
Yeah.
Some of them was Bobby.
Yeah, well, they learn to talk. They start repeating things you say. And one day you'll hear them singing, just a little toddler, 2, 3, 4 years old, and they're just humming away, making up their own song, or maybe just grunting and making truck sounds or something like that. But that's a pretty cool thing as well. They're little personalities. What mothers have said to me was one of the joys for them was seeing the little personalities come out. And what's remarkable is that the genetics that have brought them together, you would think all your kids are going to be the same. Not a chance. Their little personalities start to come out, and every child is different. Every child brings a different set of joys with their little personalities. They kind of like from 7 years old to 12, they've always been little people, but you'll get my point when I say they start to become little people. They're kind of like their own person. They want to put their own socks on. They want to tie their shoes. They want to say when they want to go to bed. They start to become, their personalities rise up, and they're starting, just to get a hold of life a little bit. And out comes these little personality people. And then the teenage years hit. Well, I want to tell you, there are joys in teenage years. And we have raised our own boys and daughter, and then the foster kids, and 47, and many of them teenage girls. And not a bed of roses, but I'll tell you, there's joy in that. Did you want to say something?
Well, I can eventually.
Okay, I'm doing all the talking here. But yeah, Sharon made a couple notes the other day just thinking of, some of these joys and challenges.
Well, some of the things that I've learned just from having children in our home, whether they were my children or someone else's, through fostering, adoption, birth, whatever it is, kids teach us. And one of the things that I really would love to leave with mums today is that, remember, there's no perfect mother. There's no perfect way to be a mother. There's no perfect way to raise your children. There's no perfect recipe. We were just talking earlier about recipes and how you taste something that you really like. You want to replicate that. You want that again and again and again.
Like your grandma's cookies.
Well, exactly. My grandmother made a cookie that everybody loved. And so we all wanted to replicate that recipe in our homes and have everybody love our cookies the way everybody loved hers. And so, but she was one of those cooks that just took a little bit of this and a little bit of that and dumped it in the bowl. So one day somebody followed her around the kitchen, and as she scooped, they measured so that we would have the exact recipe. And we all rushed home and made our cookies, and they still didn't taste anything like hers. And we concluded that you had to be in her house. And the smell of the salt air from the ocean that was just outside the front door, whatever other ingredients were there that went into making her cookies, that's what made them perfect. It was the fact that they were her cookies that made them perfect. And the fact that you are the mother of your children is what makes you perfect for the job.
Yeah.
But I made a little list the other day of things that I've learned just as being a foster parent, having been a parent, now being a grandparent. What are some of the little things that have stood out to me? And this list just kind of came to me, so I wrote it down as it came. And now it's gone. So, talk.
Well, we were just talking about...
There it is.
Oh, you got it. Go
There,
ahead.
I got it. Okay. So, first of all, to welcome them without expectation. To teach them without lecturing. To love them without smothering. To forgive them without compromise. To watch over them without hovering.
Yeah.
To accept them without judgment. To care for them without return. To give them Jesus without preaching. To have childlike fun with them without being childish. To be firm with them without being unkind. To discipline them without punishment. To grieve with them without words. To help them without shaming. And to say goodbye to them without clinging. That's probably one of the hardest things.
Yeah, to say adios or goodbye, see you later. Many evenings I would be out of the home, working at meetings and whatnot, and come home and Sharon would be propped up on the bed with a pillow behind her, and there'd be this long, lanky teenage boy lying across the bed, one of our sons, and just talking to Mama. Sharon being Mom. I couldn't do that with him. We'd talk maybe over hockey or golf or something, but that was a special time for you. And what would they do? Just kind of pour out their hearts, or?
Yeah. Talk about the things of life.
Talk about the things of life.
Yeah.
Mama, there's this girl I like.
Or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Precious times.
Yeah. And that's just all part of, making time. Motherhood requires time and pouring into your kids. I know that the teenage years can be challenging, and teenagers can think that parents are stupid. And it's just amazing, when they turn 25 years old. I've always said this, that, they come and say, Mom, Dad, can't believe how much you've learned in the last 8 years. And I know that all those years you've poured in, and sometimes it takes the adult years for them to come back and say, Mom, we're so proud of you, so glad that you poured into our lives. And sometimes they write a little letter.
I got a little letter just the other day, and somebody just wrote saying, thank you, Mama. Thank you for loving me how you loved me, kept me safe and grounded. Thank you for teaching me how to love in return, for teaching me that it's okay to say no, even when it's hard to. Thank you for teaching me to trust, really trust, that God will have my back. Sometimes it's easy to forget when you become so low. I want to thank you for having my back, for being someone I can lean on. Thank you for being my friend, someone I can tell all about my adventures and the next ones I'm going on. Someone to sing with, pray with, have fun with, do anything with. That's what it's all about, being a mom. It's not about getting it right. It's not about being perfect. It's just about being there. And then in the end, Proverbs 31 says,
Oh, Proverbs 31, yeah. That your children will rise up and call you blessed. And I'll tell you, when that happens, your kids are going to grow up and they'll become adult children. And it's just amazing how you become friends and you have adult conversations with these little ones that were just little tiny people when they came into the world. And a little squish. And you got them there. Mom, you got them there. And if your mom's still alive, right now I'm talking to an audience. There's probably just all those different stages are represented here right now. And some of us have lost our moms. I miss being able to pick up the phone and say to my mom, hey, how are you doing, Mom? And
she got you here.
Yeah, my mom was one of the first people I ever baptized when we were in Nova Scotia. It was a very cool moment. But one of the things that the mom said to me this week, and this kind of came number one on the list, the one thing they didn't like was having to discipline the children. Sometimes we call it punishment, but really, there's consequences to our actions. And really being a good mother requires you to teach, to be a teacher, that this is the right way to go. This is not a good way. The results of this are not going to turn out good. And we call that discipline. And in the book of Hebrews, Paul even talks about the discipline of God to us as believers and how necessary that is because we do it only for this lifetime to have our children turn out great. So they will rise up and call you blessed. And God does it for our eternal soul, that we will just turn out to be fruitful and bringing God all the glory. And when your kids turn out to be contributing members of the society, and they say, hey, that's so-and-so's son or so-and-so's daughter, through their life, the testimony is, whether they say the words or not, they rise up and call you blessed. So that's our little talk for today. One other thing moms did say to me was, gee, I wish I'd had more patience. Well, that's one of the, the fruit of the Spirit is love. And that's something that God can help us grow with. We grow in love. And we learn that as we go. Like Sharon has already said, there's no perfect parents. So a last word on motherhood, Sharon?
I just want to say Happy Mother's Day. God bless all you moms. And we all had a mom. That's how we got here. We're all thankful for her.
Yeah, and be the best mom you can be. The resources are there. The help of the Holy Spirit. Jesus living in you, the hope, Christ, the hope of glory. You have what it takes. You can be and are a fantastic mom. So, till later, have yourself a happy Mother's Day. From Sharon and I,
Amen.
we love you dearly. God bless you.